What's up everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another action figure review, and today we're taking a look at the brand new Coffin Comics Legacy Series La Muerta by Loose Collector. Huge thank you to Loose Collector for sending this out to me to take a look at. I don't know too much about this character, but man, she's got an awesome design, so I'm super excited to talk about this. So let's go ahead and jump right into it, starting off with the packaging. Through the window, you are able to see the figure along with all the accessories that she comes with. Up top it says Legacy Series La Muerta, down at the bottom it says Coffin Comics. On this side of the box, we get some really dope looking artwork. Man, she has such a cool design. And then on the back, we get a shot of the figure itself. Over here, it tells us a little bit about the character, which is really nice. And then on this side, it tells us a little bit about the figure, like the accessories, the articulation, all that good stuff. Down at the bottom, we get a look at some other characters that we may see in the Legacy series. Some of these we've already seen, so that's cool to see. And then on this side of the box, we get some more really nice looking artwork. So yeah, that's about it for the packaging. It is collector friendly and all that good stuff, but enough about the pretty box. Let's go ahead and get La Muerta out and take a look. So here we have La Muerta right out of the box. And man, this is a really nice figure. In my opinion, she's by far the best figure from the Coffin Comics Legacy series that we've seen so far. And like I mentioned, I don't really know too much about this character, but I love the design. It's so visually striking, you know? Like, you've got like the mostly black and then just the bones painted on there. That looks so cool. And then with her, it feels a little bit more tactical because she has like knee pads and elbow pads and then like straps on the boots, straps on the arms. It just looks so cool. And the face paint on this figure is really nice. That's one area where I feel like they struggle on these Legacy series figures is the paint, but the paint on her is freaking perfect. The face is so crisp and clean, and we'll take a look at that when we get in close. But man, they really did a great job with the paint on this figure. The paint everywhere looks good. Like all the bones are really well painted. There's no like flaws or imperfections. She just looks really nice. Yeah, man, they killed it. And then she does come with this, you know, belt that you could put on her. And the way you put it on is you have to pop off the upper torso and then you just throw that on there and it all pops together very easily. So this kind of changes up the look and it makes it look even more like tactical, you know? And the belt there does have some guns in the back and a big old knife. So yeah, man, I love the look of this. And I like the option to like be able to remove the belt like that. It would have been cool if there was like a peg in there somewhere so that you could like pin it down. But yeah, I do love the fact that it's so easy to remove. It gives you some options, you know? But man, this is a great figure. And the paintwork on La Muerta is really well done. I would say this is probably the best paint I've seen on a female figure from Loose Collector. They really did a great job on this. Starting off at the face, look how clean all the designs are. Everything is so crisp, and the paint is well applied, and just looks really good. Look how clean everything is. Look at all the designs and everything. I love this like whole skull face look with the black nose and then the black around the eyes. And the eyes themselves look really good too. And then she does have these red lips that stand out on the white of the face. So yeah, man, that is beautiful. That looks really good. Damn. And then the hair looks really good too. It's brown with some like dark shading in there, so that's nice. But the face is definitely the most impressive thing about this figure. Look at that. And then moving on to the body, I really like this skeleton design. I think it looks really cool. The white pops on the black costume. And it's all very clean, you know. There's no white paint where it's not supposed to be. Everything looks good and crisp and really nicely done. Right here on the arms, she does have some straps. And then she has some elbow pads. Down here, you get a little bit of skin for the stomach. That looks pretty good too. And then she does have some knee pads. Down here she has some cool looking like combat boots. Some steel toe action. Nice. But yeah, man, I really love the design of this figure. And I think they just did an incredible job with the paint. Everything looks so crisp and clean. But man, the face is really what stands out on this figure. And then for accessories, La Muerta does come with a bunch of cool stuff, including several sets of hands. So first off, she has a pair of fists. She has a set of open hands. She has a pair of gripping hands, and then she has a set of trigger finger hands. She also comes with a bunch of different guns. First off, we have these two handguns, and these are pretty small, but they do look really good. She has no problem holding them. And then she has these two assault rifles, And these things are badass. Imagine her just busting into a room with these two big ass assault rifles. She'll definitely cause some damage. And then finally, she has one that's more like a sniper rifle, I guess you could say. I don't know. It does have a scope on it, but it does look good. The guns all are really well sculpted. They don't have a whole lot of paint detail or anything, but I do think they look good. And then finally, she does have the big old buck knife that we've already looked at. And this thing looks crazy with the big old black blade and then the gold trim right here on the guard. Man, this is dope. And she has no problem holding this either. So yeah, she does come with a really good amount of accessories. I love all the different hands and the weapons. All right, so now for some size comparisons. Here we have La Muerta alongside the Legacy series Purgatory and the Legacy series Lady Death. And it's really cool to see like how far they've come with these figures since the first one. Lady Death came out just a couple of years ago. Like, it's not that old, and they've made some huge jumps. Like, La Muerta is so much better than Lady Death. Lady Death is okay, but, you know, she does have some issues. La Muerta doesn't really have any of those issues, you know, like, everything feels good, the paint is nice, and it's just a superior figure. And, you know, Purgatory is somewhere in between, and that makes sense because she was released in between these two figures. So it's kind of cool just to see, like, the progression of the line and just seeing them get better and better with it. And from what I've read, La Muerta's character does have a lot of similarities to Punisher. So here we have her alongside the Mezco 112 Collective Previews exclusive Punisher. On the opposite side, we have the Marvel Legends Punisher. And then here we have her alongside a couple of really dope Marvel Legends female figures. On the left, we have the Marvel Legends Wolfsbane from the Zabu Build-A-Figure wave. And on the right, we have the Marvel Legends Target exclusive Black Widow. And she's probably the best Marvel Legends female figure ever made. And then next up, we have her alongside the PlayStation Horizon Alloy by Spin Master. On the opposite side, we have the Jada Toys Chun-Li. And then, of course, we have her alongside the Marvel Legends Bucky Cap and the Marvel Legends Renew Your Vows Spider-Man. And then next up, we have her alongside one of the Spiro Toys Animal Warriors of the Kingdom figures. And then on the opposite side, we have the Mezco Dick Tracy Prune Face. Here we have her alongside the Marvel Legends Lady Deathstrike and the Mafex Black Suit Spider-Man. And then for the final size comparison, here she is alongside a Star Wars Black Series Imperial Stormtrooper. On the opposite side, we have my original figure, the Unparalleled Universe Odious the Living Curse. This figure's coming out soon. It is available for pre-order right now. I'll leave links to that in the description below. But yeah, he's going to be in hand very, very soon, so check him out. And the articulation on this figure is pretty good. Nothing really surprising, you know, nothing mind-blowing, but there's definitely enough here to get her into some cool poses and have fun playing around with it. I would say that her articulation setup is basically like in the same realm as G.I. Joe Classified or Marvel Legends, you know, something like that. So yeah, I'm happy with what we have going on here. But let's go ahead and take a look, starting off at the head. So she does have a ball peg joint at the neck. She doesn't have a hinge or anything, but the head sits up high enough to where it does get some pretty good movement. So she could look side to side and the hair doesn't really get in the way, so that's nice to see. And there's some pretty good tilting action. Look at that. Boom. So that's pretty nice. And she can look side to side. Oh, I think I said that already, but it's all good. She could look down to right there, which is pretty good. She can't really look up too much because of the hair, but that's really the only area where the hair hinders the head movement. So she only looks up to right there. So a little bit, but not too much at all. I was pretty impressed at the fact that the hair doesn't get in the way when you're moving her head side to side. So that's nice to see. And then for the torso, she does have a diaphragm cut. And I think she gets pretty good movement out of it. She could crunch forward to about right there, which is pretty good. And she could go back to about right there. And then, you know, she has some nice like side to side movement. You are able to swivel on this joint, but if you go too far, it kind of just pops apart. So it pretty much goes to only about like right there before it wants to pop apart. If you go any further than that, it's going to come right off. So yeah, a little bit of movement there, but not much. The crunch forward and back is pretty good though. I do wish that she had a ball joint at the waist. That would have been nice, especially with how the design is broken up here and with the belt and stuff. I think that would have worked really well. But obviously, there's not a whole lot of room in here, so I could understand why they didn't put it in there, but it would have been cool. So yeah, she has a decent movement there at the torso. And then for the arms, no butterfly joints or anything. She has ball joints at the shoulders that go all the way around. They come up to the side to about right there, which is pretty nice. And, you know, she could get her arms in front of her a decent amount for like punching poses and stuff. the crossbody action. Yeah, she could get her arms in front of her a decent amount. So yeah, that's not too bad. Get her into some boxing poses. Oh yeah, that looks cool. And then she does have upper bicep swivel. She has double jointed elbows that bend to about right there. Oops, that bend to right there, which is nice. She has a swivel at the wrist and a hinge at the wrist. And then for the legs, not a whole lot going on with the legs, but she is able to kick up to about right there, which is pretty good. And she could kick out to the side pretty high. And when I first took the figure out of the box, the legs were fine, but after I was playing with it for a while, the legs got really loose, so I did have to fix that. I just popped them off and, like, you know, stuffed some tissue in there so that it adds a little bit of tension, and, you know, now it's fine. But yeah, her hips did get a little loose after I was messing with the figure for a little bit, so, you know, that's something to kind of keep in mind. And then she does have like a upper thigh swivel, but they put it right above the knee where the like straps are. I think that's a really cool way to do it instead of just putting it awkwardly up here where it would kind of disrupt the design. So I'm glad they did it that way. So we have a thigh swivel. And then she has double jointed knees that bend to about right there. She has a boot swivel, and then at the foot, you're able to bring it forward to right there, come up to right there, and then she has rocking ankles. So yeah, like I said, you know, not a whole lot going on, but definitely enough to get her into cool poses. This is one of those types of figures that she just looks cool all the time. You don't need to get her into like crazy dynamic action poses. She's one of those characters that's always going to look badass in whatever pose you put her in because of the visually striking design, you know? So yeah, even though there's not a whole lot of articulation here, I'm pretty happy with what we have going on. And like I said, I've been having a good time messing around with this figure. Alrighty, so overall, at the end of the day, when the smoke clears, the dust settles, and it's all said and done, this is a really, really dope figure. Loose Collector did an incredible job on this one. Honestly, I like this figure way more than I was expecting to. I was looking forward to this one. Like, I just love the design and everything, but I didn't think I would like it as much as I do. Man, I love it. I love everything about it, to be honest with you. She looks incredible. They did a great job with the sculpt, and they absolutely killed it with the paint. The paint is so crisp and clean and well applied. Everything is sharp, especially like on the face. It looks so good. And the accessories are nice too that she comes with. I like the realistic weapons and all the different hands. An extra head sculpt would have been nice, but honestly, I don't know if she needed another head sculpt because, like, it would have been cool if she had a head sculpt with maybe some emotion, but at the same time, I like this like emotionless, stone cold killer face sculpt that she has. So I don't know if she needs another head sculpt, but you know, that's always awesome, extra heads. But anyways, yeah, man, the accessories are nice. Articulation is good on her too. Like I said, nothing mind-blowing, nothing necessarily surprising, but definitely enough to enjoy and enough to get her into some cool poses and to have some fun playing around with the figure. So yeah, articulation is good, but man, the main thing I love about this figure is the design and just the execution of the design. Like, they did a great job with all of that. She looks so good. And you know what? I really appreciate like this type of character. I love that she has so much like Mexican culture influence in there. That's something that we don't see too much of. And I think there's a lot of like cool like concepts in that stuff that could be applied to comic book characters, but we just don't see it often. So it's really dope to see it in a character like this. You know, she, like I said, she's kind of like a Punisher type of character. So this whole like Day of the Dead kind of concept works really well with the character like that. So yeah, man, she looks dope. And just based on how good this figure looks, it makes me want to go like look into the comics and things like that. So I'm gonna have to check out a couple of her story arcs. And I don't really have any major complaints about this figure. The one problem I did have with it is that the hips got a little bit loose, but you know, that was an easy fix. And aside from that, as far as like the figure itself goes, I do think she would have benefited from a ball joint at the waist. But aside from that, I think they absolutely killed it on this figure. And honestly, in my opinion, it's by far the best figure in the Legacy series so far. And it's cool to see how far they've gotten with this line in such little time, you know? They've gotten so much better than they were at the beginning, so I'm really happy to see that. And once again, huge shout out to Loose Collector for sending this out to me to review. I do appreciate it. I appreciate everything you do. You are awesome. Keep up the great work. I can't wait to see what else is in store for the Legacy line and pretty much everything that you have going on. I know it's going to be dope. But yeah, man, thank you. And with that, I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Also, be sure to hit the bell notification so you know every time that I go live. Thank you very much. Peace.